She's carrying the deer out campaign style. I'm going to beat Donnie's ass and poke Julie's eyes out after I
They can pick on Matt all they want, but when they pick on our mom, they got a whole nother can of worms.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Drury Outdoors 100% Wild podcast. Merry Christmas. It's getting close to that time. Are you looking at
December the 10th. This will air on the 11th.
It's definitely, this year I've realized I am actually in the Christmas spirit.
Oh.
Because
weird.
I've killed a buck.
Oh, well.
Because usually this time of year,
I'm pretty crabby.
It's despair time because I have no food plots that are producing anything.
I have no prospects.
It's just,
and I have no bucks.
It's a barren timber, so I know I'm going to go out, freeze my butt off, and see some squirrels, and that's about it.
Yeah, well. That's how I feel right now.
But Christmas is coming, and so you punch a tag, I punch a tag.
Yeah, I should have 2 tags punched.
If ifs and buts were candy and nuts.
I don't know the rest.
Oh, I think that's it.
Oh. Okay.
Or maybe Terry knows it.
Hey, we got Terry Drury on today. What's up, old man winner?
Not much. How you two doing?
We're great.
If ifs and buts were candy and nuts.
Terry. Do you know the rest?
I do not know that one.
Terry's just refusing to participate. Then it would be Christmas.
Is that the way it ends for real?
I think so.
I actually love the holiday. I really do. I'm very, very into Christmas and lights and decoration and all that stuff. Willa does a fantastic job with the house and all that stuff. I'm gone for 3 or 4 months, and when I get back, it looks like a different place.
Well, what's funny about this, he's so into it, but he doesn't do any of the work.
Well, yeah, he appreciates it.
He's into coming back to the house where everything's done and mom cooks for him. That's what he's into.
Sounds okay to me. I went out last night and I bought
the kitchen. The kitchen smells like, really, really good food, soups and breads, and she's always cooking in and around the holidays, and everything's decorated. It just, I don't know. I love the feeling of coming home.
It's like that George Strait Christmas song, Christmas Cookies.
I would not know.
Sure
I hate country Christmas songs. I mean, they're terrible.
Can I be excused?
Yeah.
Do I have to?
We did one podcast without you last week. We'll do another.
Yeah, and how did that turn out?
It was, I wish you were here. Would have been helpful.
Yeah, I missed it. I started watching some of it. I promise I'll make my way through the rest of it.
Sure, Tim. Well, you have a 30-minute drive home. Listen to it on the way.
I could, but I could be doing something else too.
Well, I promise we're going to have better topics. Than
Your listeners.
What's that?
I said that's what all your listeners say. I got about halfway through.
All our listener.
Hey, we have a pretty high completion rate, I'll have you know.
Listen
here.
Oh,
really?
Yeah. I mean, pretty much all the way through. Maybe they tune out towards the end when I get to the Rack Pack names. Although I think that's a highlight. The wildlife word, highlight last week especially.
People want to hear Matt Drury mispronounce their name.
Mispronounce everything. You should have heard the wildlife word.
This poor guy named Matt Johnson. Mert.
All right.
Johnson.
So we're going to have Terry on today because we wanted to talk about the season so far, but also he had a giant deer. We never we just rolled right past that. We just went to other guests. We didn't even talk about Little P. Went 175?
Yes, I think so.
But I thought one of the cooler parts about it was you guys have been testing a new broadhead that you guys kind of have developed with NAP. And you've got we got a prototypes at the very end of last year. We tested it a little bit then. I mean, like the last week of the season, Forrest killed a doe, Wade, Perry killed does. I killed a buck on the last day of the season. But then you guys made a bunch of changes to it and kind of made it, I guess, a little more streamlined or whatever. I don't know. And so we got new prototypes this year, but just a handful. So your crew and Mark's crew were the only ones that had any. You just gave me one at Thanksgiving. Hopefully I'll see a buck.
Are we even allowed to talk about this?
Yeah.
Is this top secret?
It is, but I asked around at NAP. I was like, hey,
got permission?
Well, Mark had asked early on and they said no. And then I guess we got far enough along in the season. They said yes, or else they forgot. They said no. I don't know. So we're talking about stuff.
Ask dad, then ask mom. And
exactly. I got a no here. I got a yes here. We're gonna go with the yes. So
talking very, very briefly about this new mechanical broadhead. It's, it's exciting for us because it is so lethal. And having shot a multitude of different broadheads over 3.5 or 4 decades, this one is as good as anything we've ever shot. It's extremely lethal. Everybody that's tested it has had tremendous results with it. So we're excited to see this thing come to fruition. And NAP has been very, very, cooperative as far as the design phases and how we wanted that newel and the shape of the blades and everything, and the cutting diameter and the tip itself. And performance overall, I think, is going to be well received just from about anybody and everybody that tests it or tries it. I think they're going to like it. So you'll see that forthcoming. It's a little bit down the pipe yet, but everything thus far has been really, really impressive.
And it's an expandable broadhead. There's going to be several different cut sizes. And there's going to be different tips. I think they got a trophy tip and they got a cut on contact, and so there's going to be options within the line. You killed your deer. I mentioned that little P, the 175. You killed it with it. Mark you guys have killed several deer with them, but Mark just killed a deer down in Texas a day ago or so, and he sent us the kill, and it was absolutely devastating. And he was using a 2.3 on that one. And so on little P, kind of take us through that, well, a little bit of the history of that deer, because you guys knew him well from years past, and of course he kind of blew up a little bit this year, didn't he?
He did. And racks this year have not looked all that well. I'll be honest, that for whatever reason, and I've got my own personal beliefs about that, I felt like because the weather last year, we had maybe a 2 or 3 week period there where it was extremely brutally cold. So, they laid down for a little while, but it stayed extremely mild for the most part of the winter. And we had just an inordinate amount of food left over. And I feel like they just walked all winter long. They didn't hibernate like they should. And therefore, when they use up all that body fat, the first thing they got to put back on in the spring is body fat. And then so the racks kind of suffer because they're trying to put that, do the rack development secondary, and the body fat comes first. But I truly believe it's because our temperatures have warmed a little bit and they just don't lay like they should all winter long. And they're farther away from the food source. They're just, moving and traveling a lot further distances. So with that being said, that's my personal belief. But I think that's what had a lot to do with the racks going a little bit backwards. With that being said, we did have one deer, little P, that blew. And, I don't know overall how many inches he picked up, but he did blow into a really, really nice deer. And we did have some history with him. We had pictures of him. And it was one that we really targeted. And Forrest and I sat in a tree and sat in a tree and sat in trees and sat in trees. I mean, I don't know how many sits and how many days, but an inordinate amount of time, an inordinate amount of hours sitting in a tree stand. And we just could not get him dead. I had an encounter with him one morning, wrong side of tree, if you will. I'm a lefty. Forrest is a righty. And the set was set up for a left-handed shooter. But the deer was coming down a logging road and had a big limb there. So Forrest had beautiful footage of him and could have shot him 100 times over at 20 or 25 yards. And I just never could get around on him and get a shot at him. So we had 6 does under us, couldn't move, couldn't breathe, couldn't blink, blah, blah, blah. So we literally watched him walk off.
That footage is ridiculous too. I mean, the footage is like 11 out of 10. It's awesome. Have you seen that?
Typical Drury Outdoors box blind food plot.
Well,
right?
And that's the joke. That was the joke. It's like they were actively really trying hard this year. It's like, all right, we're going to sit, tree stand. And I went up for the youth season with Cameron, and we were talking about it because they had just had this encounter with him a couple days before that. And I was like, you guys are going to kill him out of a box blind. And sure enough, that's what happened.
Well, that is exactly what happened. I think that was only the second time we sat there, but we've been getting pictures of him on a food plot there almost every evening, and most of it was after dark. We were like, well, we're banking on the fact that maybe one day he'll come in here during daylight, and he did just that. So he came in behind us, if you will, and it was a little bit of a fire drill on the inside, but we were able to get a window open and get a shot on him, put it back a little bit further than I cared to. He was watering away severely. So I was aiming literally last rib and wanting to take it right up through the boiler room. and it just barely clipped the front part of the ham, but went through a rib and then took out, stomach, liver, lung. I mean, the Broadhead performed exquisitely. So we were extremely, extremely happy with the performance of that new head. And he might have ran, I don't know. He was in the timber maybe 25 or 30 yards, but he ran all total probably 70 or 75 yards, something like that. Yeah. But the shot, when I hit him, I thought I hit him too far back. I really did. But he was wrinkled around and quartering away severely. And it just worked out. Couldn't have worked out any better. I mean, it literally took everything out up through the boiler room on him.
Terry, what was your trail camera picture history like with him this season, and how did that play into where you guys were deciding to hunt and ultimately leading up to the kill?
They were good. I mean, we were getting a lot of pictures of him on the stealth cam and looking at that Command Pro app each and every day, every morning, every evening, trying to figure out and play the chess match. So we were trying to get between food and bed, and we were playing the moon, playing a DeerCast app, looking at the predictor each and every day, the predictive model, man, on those great days. And we knew we were going to have high pressure and thermals going up. We sat in the timber every single morning in the dark. We were going in there and trying to catch him, and had tremendous encounters with other deer and a lot of turkeys. And, we had some really, really phenomenal sits, but we just couldn't catch up with him. And then the one morning that we did catch up with him there too, once again, high pressure system, and just a beautiful, beautiful, crisp, cold morning, had all kinds of deer all around us. And he comes in. I mean, he did what he was supposed to do. He read the script, but, I just could not get turned around on him and get a shot. And he'd only needed to take maybe 10 more steps. He'd have been broadside at 15 yards. So there again, Forrest could have killed him over and over and over. But, and I asked after we got done with that particular sit, and the deer literally had to walk off, beautiful footage. But I asked Forrest, I said, who hung this? Who the hell hung this? And he said, I didn't. I said, you know what? I think I hung it. So it was just not the best arrangement on the stands. So on this particular tree, we're either going to move it to another tree, or I'm going to take a chainsaw in there and take this one giant limb out so I can shoot. And it's into my hand. As a lefty, I always call it into your hand or away from your hand, as kind of like a bull rider does when he's riding a bull. If you're a lefty and you can swing to your right, I don't know why I got this giant limb there. It was dumb. It was a stupid place to hang it. The limb should have came off, or I should have picked another tree or moved it up or moved it down. But anyway,
it's a pretty good tree. We've killed a lot of deer out of it. I mean, it's a good tree.
Killed a lot of deer out of that tree. But I hung it maybe 15 years ago, and I don't know that I've sat it.
It'd be more than that.
Yeah, you killed a deer there maybe 20 years ago.
Yeah, it was because that was the first deer that I killed with my bow since I kind of started hunting again. That was on Bow Madness, like one of the first seasons of Bow Madness. That was with like an original Bow Madness bow. So,
yes, and I know we've changed stands there a time or two, with new stands and straps and sticks and all that. But at any rate, it's just, I got a limb there that needs to go for a left-handed shooter. I'll tell you that.
My tree stand superpower is hanging a tree stand in a place where there will be a knot in the tree in the small
right
of my
in the back. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, I love the ones that are leaning forward.
I call those the dumpers.
The dumpers,
that stand is just ready to dump you out of it.
Oh my God, yeah. So we stay harnessed in, needless to say. All that, the cameras were very instrumental, Tim. They really were. Well, we were trying to catch him, feed to bed, and we just didn't get him dead. We caught up with him, we just didn't get him dead. So then when we did sit food out of a blind, well, lo and behold, he came in behind us, and I don't remember, it was maybe a 30-yard shot, 28, 29, 30 yards, something like that. But we hadn't only set that box maybe one other time, and sure enough, he come in and we were able to get a shot on him and get him dead.
Well, the night Cameron killed, we had pictures of him on that plot that evening, I think, right around the time, right after we shot, or somewhere right around there. If I remember
It was right after we went out.
Yeah, it was right after we went out. That's right.
Yeah. We got a picture of him.
So,
yep, sure did.
Terry, what percentage of his pictures were daylight and what were overnight?
First, would you remember that? I'm going to say it was probably 80-20 or 75-25. Nocturnal, 75 nocturnal, 25 daylight, maybe. Okay. 80-20 might be a little more realistic.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
But we knew if we kept playing the chess match and we went on optimal conditions, eventually he'd walk during daylight. And that's exactly what happened. We caught him during daylight that evening.
And
it was right. It was illegal. I mean, there wasn't a lot of shooting light left. We were constantly looking at our phone to make sure we were within legal shooting.
Yeah, I know that game.
Yeah, on Command Pro, you can actually, if you're tagging your deer, so like if you were tagging every picture you had of him with his name, you can go in there and filter and find the analytics on the date. You could filter the daytime hours and find out exactly how many it'll tell you actually. You don't even have to filter the daytime. You can if you want, but just by selecting all the ones you named him, it'll tell you how many you got in daylight and how many you got dark, what moon phase, what wind directions, everything.
It's probably one of the most overlooked features in the Command Pro app is the analytics behind all.
It's in the mapping page. It's kind of in a weird spot. That's why I think. But you go to the map page and you can click the little bar graph and there's so much stuff in there. It's crazy. So anyhow, sidetrack. But so you guys, once you, at first, what you're thinking, okay, terrible shot or a bad shot, not where I wanted, a little far back, a little to the right. But then did you guys go look for blood right away at the hit or what? So what was his thought?
My immediate thought was, damn, did I screw that up? Because he was quartering away severely. It was not a chip shot, but it should have been a little easier than what it was. So we immediately came back to the war room. We snuck out, waited till, after dark, until the field was empty, snuck out, came back to the war room, put it on a monitor, and then we were like, oh my God, this thing sunk up to damn near up to the fletching, So we knew we got it in there. It had just clipped the front part of his ham, went through a rib, and all the way up into the, through the stomach, through the liver, through the lung. It literally got everything. And it's that big expandable boy. It did a number on him. And he didn't go nowhere. Then we went and said, okay, let's go back and see if we can find a little bit of blood at the hit site. Well, hell, the blood was, really, really good. So we just walked a little bit further. He didn't make it into the timber 25 or 30 yards.
When he ran off, did he have his tail up?
I think it was tucked, Tim. I think it was pretty tight.
Okay.
Yeah. And we watch that religiously. I mean, we really do. That's a really good indicator. Typically, that's a stomach liver issue. If that tail is tucked tight, there's a pretty good chance you caught liver somewhere in there.
Heck yeah.
So, all right. So little P, that was kind of the trophy on the farm. So you guys knock him down and then Forrest goes and you guys were chasing a deer called Blondie, right? So you guys catch up with him. I mean, and then kind of kicked off, like Grandma's kill kind of kicked off everything, right?
Mom certainly got the floodgates open. She sure did. And I will talk about that one because going back and looking at it now, I can't believe that deer stood there as long as he did.
On Grandma's.
We were moving and talking and, Mom doesn't react real quickly.
She's
so
91.
Everything slows down just a little bit. And I just cannot say enough about that hunt. It highlight maybe a lifetime at age 91 and a half. I just cannot say enough. And Forrest has been outstanding, helping work with her and her shooting. We practiced quite a bit with it.
Better than Wade and Perry or not as good as
he's substantially better than Wade and Perry.
Shots fired.
Should I say that again?
Hey, I real quick on the grandma. So just a couple days ago, Mark screenshot, the Outdoor Channel had posted the hero shots and hey, congratulate Mama Drury, that kind of stuff on both deer at different times. And Mark screenshot the comments and sent them to Terry and I this weekend. And people are nuts. One guy's like, I'd like to see her do it on public land. She's 91. And then another lady's like, it may be her hair, but she looks angry. So dad, he replies with these people's names in our text thread. And he was like, I'm going to find so-and-so. And
people are terrible.
And then I'm going to go cut what's-her-face's hair off.
Oh, who comes after Lucille?
I just don't understand. I don't understand that. I mean,
people suck.
And I'm gonna back up just a moment because Wade and Perry are the same way as far as when Mom's in camp, those guys go the extra effort and literally help us with every step that mom takes. And I cannot say enough good things about all three of those guys helping with mom.
For sure.
So, but people to make comments like that about someone that's 91 and a half years old out there hunting, what an inspiration for a younger generation and an older generation.
I'm surprised she didn't
get zero sense to me. I don't get it.
I'm surprised there were no crossbow comments. I'd like to see her do it with a compound.
just imagine what happens the next episode she's in. She's on an e-bike with a saddle, the bow slung over her shoulder, going into public land.
She's carrying the deer out campaign style.
Yeah,
she's 91.
You're in my world now, Grandma.
It's ridiculous.
And everybody's entitled to their comments and their opinions. I don't have an issue with that, but
yes, you do.
Boy, when you start posting them publicly and you browbeat our mom, you're kind of crossing the line there. That's all I got to tell him.
He goes, I'm gonna beat Donnie's ass and poke Julie's eyes out after I read the bottom one.
I hate freaking people. I'm going to beat Donnie's ass and poke Julie's eyes out after I cut all her hair.
Obviously, we're joking.
Julie.
I was dying laughing because I was in Illinois and I had terrible service. And so all of a sudden I got all these text messages and like the pictures started coming through. And
here we
by
go.
the time I caught up to the end, I was just dying laughing.
I think it was over.
How dare you talk about my mother that way? She's a saint.
Dorothy Mantooth is a saint.
Hey, Tim.
Yes, sir.
They can pick on Matt all they want, but when they start
obviously
over the line and they pick on our mom, they got a whole nother can of worms.
Matt invites it, and in a lot of cases, Matt deserves it, and so I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
and sometimes it's me, like with my burner accounts, saying things about Matt. But I draw the line at Lucille.
I liken this to Toxie, his commitment with Mr. Fox. I thoroughly enjoy the fact that those guys do that, and Mr. Fox is willing to go out there.
He's able to still
kill a turkey, and he's still able to. That's monumental in my opinion, and it's inspirational for every older person that said, you know what, I'm too old to do this anymore. Well, maybe not. Maybe not. If they see a couple of older people out there doing it, maybe it's just enough motivation to get them out there and try it one more time.
I know we do get comments like that. Like, hey, after seeing this, I showed my mom or my dad, and we were able to get them out for another hunt. I know, like Bryson Thornton always takes his grandpa Bud, and those are always awesome hunts. So it's just neat to see people that can have that passion at any age still. And grandma gets excited. I mean, it's funny. Her hunts are funny to watch. See, I know how hard it must be for you guys because everything has to line up exactly right for her to see it, for her to be able to see it through the scope, but for her to be able to get that crooked ass finger she's got in the trigger and pull it. I mean, when she's pointing at you, it's already the definition of trigger finger.
Well, and the fact that she's willing to do it. Yeah. I mean, I marvel at the fact that she's willing to get up and go through, getting all the garb on and then getting her in the buggy and practicing with the crossbow. And I really, my hat's off to her and anyone else that's a little bit up in age and willing to go out there and try it. That's outstanding. And she's an inspiration for a lot of people and us included. There's a lot of days where we don't feel like going. And then you look back and you go, I can't believe she did it. I really can't. And then to find a deer, a 5 or 6 year old deer that'll stand there for how many ever seconds it takes, because it does take a little bit for her to get it in the scope and get the crosshairs on it. But by golly, she absolutely smoked his ass. I mean, I was so happy with her shot. It's not even funny.
Every time she's like, did I hit him? Like, are you sure I hit him?
And then she goes, I don't know if we'll find him.
Spotting raccoons all the way down that mountain.
So Mark and Terry's pessimism comes from my grandma. And like, she is a pessimistic person by nature. Grandpa was always optimistic and, hey, now this is great.
It's probably what's kept her going all these years.
So Mark and Terry 100% are Lucille and their optimism department.
Err on the side of caution.
Oh,
err on the side of caution.
That's
err
right.
on the side of caution.
So it's funny to hear her reaction every time.
I mean, we should probably just be honest here and just come out and say Lucille is angling to become a social media influencer.
She could be. She's on. she's on social media, and it's funny
She's
to
on
follow.
Facebook.
Yeah, on her Facebook and see what she posts, and she does stuff. She'll like she's doing polls and like, and you don't even know how she got to that part. Like she's got
she's tagging products.
Send me a question. It's like, Grandma, do this.
The one that kills me was, I won't mention any names, but someone lost their family pet, lost a dog, and her crooked finger, she actually put the laughing emoji.
Oh.
Instead of the crying emojis, it was laughing, and there were several.
Shit.
After 13 years, we had to say goodbye to Mr. Peepers yesterday.
Well, yeah.
Got him.
LOL.
I thought that meant lots of love. No? Oh, man.
So she's awesome though. Think about it. Well, like Lola's birthday in November, she FaceTimed us. You know what I mean? Like
that's crazy.
She's 91. It's
and
awesome.
She's on Facebook. I mean, that's incredible in itself.
That's 50 years from now for you and I.
Oh, I know. Think about it. I mean, will you be here?
Probably not.
Exactly.
I mean, 5 years is anyway.
The limit.
That's what I'm looking at.
So yeah, that had to be the highlight of the year for sure. And then she went to Mark's and killed one with a rifle.
And yeah, then she went up with Mark and killed another one. She's amazing.
She's killed more deer than both of us this year.
I knew that. I wasn't going to say that, but I appreciate you bringing it up.
And bigger deer, by the way. It was a 157-inch buck she killed at
Better
Terry's.
shots. And,
yeah. And that deer field dress, 216 pounds, 216 point something. But he was a giant when we walked up on him, Forrest, and I were like, oh my God, look at this thing.
All right, Lucille, start dragging.
If you guys wanted to invite me up and like gingerly push my rear end up the ladder for the blind and everything and
get you in the Lucy lift,
I would let you do that.
So you're going to bump Mom out of her spot, are you?
I'm not above it.
Hey, you saw what he said about Donnie. You better watch yourself, bud. My mom's a saint.
Gonna get my eyes poked out here if I'm not careful.
And I'll go over this again. I still can't believe the deer stood there.
It's a miracle.
We had tucked the blind into cut corn. We tucked it in there, and I truly believe the audio that was coming out, he couldn't course it. His ears never stopped, man. They were turning and going back and forth. So he was actually facing away from us, trying to figure out where all that talking was coming from and the commotion. So we just got lucky in the fact that he couldn't course us. And then finally he kind of turned around. And Mom has become somewhat seasoned now. She kept saying, oh, he's got to get broad. He's got to get broadside. You know, she was waiting for the shot. So it's such a delight and such a gift to, number one, see a deer stand there that long. And I had said a prayer to Dad, who's up in heaven. And I said, man, if you could just give us one deer to stand here until Mom can get the crosshairs on him. He said, don't you worry about it. I'll take care of Mom.
Hey, now.
That was exactly what he told me just prior to that deer coming out. And by golly, he did. He stood him there just long enough for Mom to get the crosshairs on him and put a shot on him.
It is a life-giving experience having a successful hunt like that. Like, for anybody, and you want, like, you think about Lucille and just how, I mean, it's a hassle for us to get out there, but to do with aching joints and tired, and you know, like if you fall, like it could be pretty serious.
Pretty much, yeah.
But talk about a life-giving experience to do that and experience the thrill of the kill and the camaraderie afterwards, and that keeps people young.
I think somebody else on that post said something like, I can't congratulate killing defenseless animals. It's like, why are you following Outdoor Channel? It's like, people are nuts.
You know, someone kind of policed that though. I think somebody said, why are you even on here? Somebody, I don't remember the comment.
Go to hell.
Do you like your vision?
I am privy to a conversation where Terry Drury will find you. Have you ever seen, what's the movie with Liam Neeson?
I will find you. And I will kill you.
A certain set of skills.
It was number 3, wasn't it?
You ever seen the Three Stooges? I'll poke your eyes out. Yeah, this is going to be like the transcript for this podcast is going to be some kind of
rated mature.
It'll be evidence in some kind of trial
down the road for Donnie.
Yeah, classic Drury boys murder here.
Well,
we got eyes poked out.
I didn't.
You know what, though? I would be the same way if somebody said something about Mr. Fox, or if somebody said something about anyone that age trying to go out there and harvest an animal. I would be the same way and take offense to that. I'm sorry. Sure.
Any normal person would. Like, that's what you don't understand about these people. They're not normal. There's something wrong with them. Mm-hmm. And if you go in public and you kind of look around at Walmart, or not that there's anything wrong with that, but then you get a better. All these people have social media. Yep. We all got it.
They can all vote. They can all drive. It's like, holy cow, how do these people get here?
How do they function?
How do they tie their shit?
They write mean, dumb comments on Facebook.
I really didn't think that you just said function for a second.
No. Tim,
it's like, whoa.
Get your mind out of the gutter.
See, my dad decided that your mom was really hot. So anyway, I'll continue on with the story.
Thanks, Terry.
Forrest did spot Blondie, which was another epic hunt. I mean, we've been chasing him out of tree stands every day, sitting over water holes. It was, a whole month of October was maybe record as far as temperatures. As far as high temperatures, it seemed like it was warmer than average almost every day. We were 10, 15, 20 degrees above average. And we were sitting water holes pretty religiously, and had Blondie walk under us a couple different times, but it was either right at legal or past legal. So, we obviously had to let him walk. And then there too, we caught up with him out of a blind, but it was one morning, and that was maybe 10 or 10:30 in the morning. And we had seen a bunch of deer on their feet that morning, and a lot of different bucks. And man, they were playing grab ass all over the field and running and dogging and chasing. And after everything subsided, I had even made a comment to Forrest. I said, it's not uncommon for once everything goes to bed for an old mature deer to start checking doe trails and come out, by himself. And that's exactly what happened. He came out all by himself, kind of checking to see where everybody was at, and, all the doe trails going across the field, and walked within, 20, 25 yards of Forrest roundhouse. And he puts a tremendous shot on him with the Matthews, and rest is history, as they say. So Blondie was another good one to take down.
Out of a box blind, it doesn't count.
that was. I don't know.
Sucks. We have to even think about it like that. We just try to kill deers hard enough. We're like, oh, we gotta kill them out of a tree stand so people don't complain about it.
I think I was in a tree stand when I read it was your deer. It was your kill in DeerCast. Someone made a comment about what was it? Like, you killed it out of a it was some like, yeah,
pretty positive.
Must be nice.
Yeah.
And I was like, Andy, you forgot to mention he killed it with a gun. So even less legitimate of a kill.
Yeah, you and Jim Richmond just kind of went to town. Yeah. Stirring the pot. So. Oh, what are you going to do? I mean, here's how I feel.
I got a lot of problems with you people.
I don't know if that's...
Got a lot of problems with you people.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well,
some people just aren't happy unless they're griping about something.
So you guys rolled on. You went to Illinois. You had some good luck over there. You guys have got a couple tags left, but I guess Forrest has one tag left, right? And
he has two. He has his archery permit and his firearms permit, or Mo's tag over in Illinois.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we're working on that.
Oh, I know.
We're not done yet.
Stay tuned.
So that means the farm's open, Tim, in Missouri.
I just picked up an 80-acre permission piece over in Illinois. It's amazing when you just ask people.
That's a good point. I never ask.
I mean, I kind of assume that my friends and family know what I do and that killing a deer is important. And so if they have a opportunity for me to do that, they'll say something, but that's not always the case.
Nobody wants you hunting on their piece.
Yeah. Well, it's not even that. It's just they don't even put two and two together. Like, my grandma has
you need to catch a deer?
100 acres in Illinois. You're welcome to it.
Huh? Does your grandma need a lover?
Well, I will do anything.
Have you seen that meme? There's a meme going around where it's like, I think it's a clip from Kingpin with Woody Harrelson.
Yeah, it's an awesome movie.
And he had just, helped out an older lady and he's puking in the toilet. And somebody put on there like when the old neighbor, the widow neighbor says she has land or something like that.
Yes.
Man, get your head out of the gutter, Tim.
I'm just sitting here.
But by the way, it is the antlerless season right now, so we're working on our doe numbers right now. Just to throw that out there, Tim.
Doe patrol. He's saying you could come up and kill a doe. Or 2 or 4. You can, right? Is it 4 in a county or is it 2 in a county? I forget.
4.
Yeah.
Used to as many as you can carry.
No,
like as many as you can fit in a bag.
And years ago, when we first came up here years ago, the doe numbers were so out of whack. We were harvesting about 12 or 13 does for every buck. So we were killing, between 45 and 50 a year. And we did that for 10 or 15 years. And now that our numbers are kind of in check, we at least want to go 1-to-1. If you killed 5 bucks, you want to try and make sure that you shoot 5 does if your numbers are, if they're not out of whack. So we're trying to at least get to 1-to-1 and preferably 2-to-1, where we would shoot twice as many does as bucks. But they're born at 1-to-1, so you want to try and maintain 1-to-1 if you can. So we're trying to do our part, and we like eating the deer meat. We're doing chili and backstrap and inside tenders. Forrest will fry them up, and we eat them like candy.
When he says we, he means Forrest does all the work, does all the cooking, and Terry does all the eating, much like he does
Christmas.
at Willa's house. It's Christmas at Terry's farm.
So I have to shout out my wife because her and Sophie went through. I deboned the last deer that we killed, and so it's in the fridge. They went through and trimmed it all up, put it through the grinder, and packaged it up, put it in the deep freezer.
Nice.
Awesome.
Nice.
When I came home, I was like, hey, where are the back straps and the tenderloins?
Oh, no. They'd grinded
everything got ground
you
up.
You didn't specify.
I mean, not many guys have wives and kids who will
do that,
process the deer, so I can't complain.
Did you hit him?
There was I shoved one of them, and I won't say which,
the little one,
but she kind of had it coming, and I felt like a real man afterward. I own both of them. So,
well, now you got to go shoot another one, Tim.
Yeah, I definitely need to. Well, especially the suburban spots that I hunt, Terry. The does are just stupid thick. I really, I can't kill enough of them. And I really wonder what the bucks could be like if they didn't have all that social stress and all that competition for the limited amount of food that there is around.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why they're eating everybody's shrubbery.
Yeah, exactly. But,
all right. Well, should we get into the business into this deal?
Do it.
That's paper.
Oh, we didn't do a bio for Terry.
Oh, guest bio. Terry Drury, Old Man Winner, 35 years in the industry. We'll get a special commemorative bourbon. Only special people get it, though.
Man, can you drink it with a straw? Is that how you're supposed to?
I wouldn't recommend it.
I'll sip on some bourbon here.
All right. So today we got the question of the day. It's brought to you by Sportsman's Channel, the home of Winchester and Drury's natural born. Tim. And it says, we need questions. Drop them in the rack pack. Oh, boy. The Sportsman's Channel totally got gypped on this question.
So here's the question. Why aren't there more questions?
I got it. So first of all, guys, go. You could leave a question in the rack pack. You can leave a question anywhere. Jim will sniff it out. All right. Jim loves sniffing.
Whoa.
Okay.
Whoa.
Second of all, Terry, do you have any questions for Tim and I? We can answer. Do you have any questions about deer hunting that we can answer for you?
Not really.
Why aren't you guys better? For all the access to equipment that you have, why aren't you boys any better?
It's definitely not the equipment.
Yeah. I used to think back in the day, there's a limiting factor here. If I could just get another X, or if I could just get another whatever.
Turns out, no, we suck.
Nope, it's not that great.
Yeah.
I will say, in defense of you two, that we spend an inordinate amount of time doing what we do. And I couldn't imagine the rest of the world that's out there that's only got 2 days or 4 days of vacation, or, trying to do it in the evenings and weekends. It's hard. I mean, it's really hard to kill a mature because I know how much time we spend doing it. So, hats off to anybody that is able to successfully go out there on a weekend or an evening and fill a tag and harvest a target animal. Particularly, it's one thing to shoot 2-year-old, 3-year-old, 4-year-old, and what have you. But man, if you pick one out and you say, I'm going to target that deer, and then you end up killing him, that's quite an accomplishment, no matter who it is.
Yeah.
Because their days are numbered. It's a challenge. It's a chess match.
Time on task definitely plays a huge part into success. And then the other reality is that there are some mediocre hunters that have really great ground. Because
I wish I was that guy.
Because maybe they lucked into it, or maybe they just asked enough people, or they leased, or they bought, or whatever. And there are some really great hunters who have really crappy ground, but every now and again they kill. So it's not always your kill record that is the sole metric in what kind of a hunter you are.
I think it's as much about there's obviously skill set. Like, the guys that are really good at it, these guys like the Ben Rising, the Lee Lakoskis, like the guys that you could drop anywhere, and I'll defend that always. Mm-hmm. And they will find whatever the best deer is, and they will find a way to kill it. And then there's guys that it's a matter of like enough time in a tree to get the opportunity to see one
blind squirrel
in daylight. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know what I mean? So I don't know. We're somewhere in between there, I think.
Yeah.
So a perfect example is spent all weekend in Illinois for the gun season. Mm-hmm. And I come home, and I came home a little early, like a few hours early.
Okay.
But
I'll give you credit for it.
Maybe I'll get to go this week because the weather today dropped. Tomorrow's great. The next day is great. And I have spots locally, or this weekend I want to go back over there because it's the mud season. That's what my tag is. And then, man, I'm just getting at home. It's like Cam's been saying, like, you're not going, right? You're not going again, right? Then Brenda's like, he's not going. I'm like, I might be going. And then everyone's like, Lola's like, you're not going. Like, I think they discussed it while I wasn't there and teamed up on me. And everybody's just like, no, you're not going.
It's like that scene from Interstellar. Don't make me leave, Murph. Don't make me leave.
So, everybody with kids, they're dealing with the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, I have to pick up Bo today from school. Cold front. Sophie has a basketball game tomorrow night. Cold front. I got stuff cooking.
Kids suck.
Thank you for saying that. That's what I was going for. I was afraid.
She's the one you pushed, didn't it?
Well, in sporting events, you hit the nail on the head, Tim. Sporting events, my God, there's something, it seems like, regardless who it is, whichever family, that they're busy and going, and, especially if they do any traveling at all, it's a lot of time away. So, good dads that are involved in their kids' sports and all that stuff, they have very, very minimal amount of time to be in the timber. And that's where your hat's off to those that are successful, because it takes a lot of time, Yeah. And then when you're sitting there, I'm sure a lot of those guys are going, man, oh man, I should be at home doing this. I know my kids are doing that. Mm-hmm. So it is a tug of war, a big power struggle.
Yep. Yeah. The time in the stand becomes very expensive with a young family.
Then you get to drive 2 hours back and forth.
Wild Laugh Word brought to you by Cold Steel. Check out the full line of hunting, daily carry, outdoors, and tactical use blades. Okay. At what length of fawn fetuses do morphological characteristics like spots begin to form? Is it 35 to 40 centimeters?
How's that convert to inches?
It's unknowable.
Let's get this in American. Okay.
There's no conversion.
How many? What's 35 to 40 centimeters? Like, how many inches we talking?
I don't know what conversion that'd be, but a centimeter is about like that. Bing. So 35 of those would be
an inch.
20. Really, I don't think you guys are gonna. I mean, you might luck into this one.
Well, sure. It's all guessing.
Really, that's what it's always been. 20 to 30, 50 to 60 centimeters.
C. I'm going with C because I don't know. C seems nice. Mm-hmm. Terry?
C means yes in
You're going
Spanish.
with B?
So
now I'm going to go with B.
Okay. Well,
just because I like the way that guy said B.
Yep. Everyone, as usual, is wrong.
Eh?
Yeah. 35 to 40. I mean, you ever heard of the 35 to 40 centimeter rule?
No. Well,
Really?
I bet you have.
Well,
That's
look
what she
at
said.
centimeters converted in inches, and I think
The joke's
we'll
on
both
me.
agree yes.
Okay, hold on. Let's see. 35.
Well, Matt's doing his mathematics over here. We got
Oh,
a shout out. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
La-di-da.
Impressed now.
35 centimeters equals 13.78 inches.
What?
Terry, didn't you go to Rolla? I mean, shouldn't you know these things? Are you just that old? You forgot them? He's nodding his head for those that are listening to this program.
We were just touting ourselves yesterday about the podcast.
How good it did this year, the numbers.
It's a very visual show.
Yes.
Shout outs. Ross Grunegg on DeerCast. He said, amazing story, great deer. And this is about the Chad Chambers
250 episode.
250 and stuff.
250 inch episode, not the 250th episode.
Not the 250 centimeter episode. Awesome people. I love DeerCast and the 100% Wild podcast, along with all the DoD TV shows.
My man, Ross. Ross gets a
Girl.
shout out. All right, we got some new Rack Pack members. The Rack Pack is the private Facebook group. All you got to do is type in 100% Wild Rack Pack in your search and you'll find it and answer a couple questions and you're in. Every week we get names. Every week I list them, I name them, I try to pronounce them. Every
You do
week
your best.
I butcher them. Usually there's a fake one in here. This week it says no fake name. All right, we got Reggie Baxter, Jason Lurk.
Whoa.
Hey, Jason's the 180 deer killer.
Cousin Jason.
We call him Whitey around our parts. All right, Douglas Austin, Stetson Neldon, James Harrison, Carl Cortez, whatever. Darren Lovelace, Garrett
I think that's a
Turnett.
duplicate.
Yeah, that sounds right. Chris Costella, Garrett Minihan.
Mini hand.
All right, Carl
Mega-hand.
Stites, Clint Champion.
That's a cool name.
Champion. I just like saying the names twice.
No, it drives home the point.
All right. We
These
got
are
a
What is
pre-show announcement that's always at the bottom of the sheet. I did the same thing last week. I get to the bottom of the sheet and it says pre-show announcement.
We'll just fix it in post. We'll just enter laughing and we'll say this and then cut to the regular
the rest
beginning.
of the program. All right. So don't forget to head to DeerCast to register to win the 2024 Tracker giveaway. It's a Tracker 800 side-by-side. It's free to you. It's free to enter. It's free. F-R-E.
What's the catch?
There is no catch. Well, we have your data.
Do I have to send in UPCs from the box to
No
qualify?
UPCs. So here's the problem. The contest ends December 18th. So you got to hurry. It'll be the 11th when this airs. You got to hurry. Where you go? You go to DeerCast. The bottom right side of DeerCast, there's 3 dots. Nope. There's a thing called settings. You hit settings, and then there's a thing that says giveaway. You click giveaway, and you enter.
Yes.
It's that easy. Settings, giveaway,
And
enter
just-
here.
Yep.
And I will like to say it's a real giveaway. We've given away like 4 of these. We've given away so many. It was Can-Ams, then it was Trackers. We've given so many side-by-sides away. You could have a world record, like a Guinness World Record parade of side-by-sides.
We should get everyone together.
So it's real.
Next year, we'll do a parade
Okay.
and I'll throw Jolly Ranchers at people.
Okay. All right. Terry, you got anything to add before we let you guys back to your lives?
the Tracker is impressive. You know, we've got the EVs and the gas, and they're side by side. And that EV is the single best one made, in my opinion. And we use it daily, every single day.
Well, we're not giving that one. We're not giving that away. We're giving away the gas one.
Side by side, right?
It's nice as well.
Yeah, they both are.
Hey, the for the price on those, if you don't win, by the way, if you're in the market for a side by side, the price on them is really. I mean, that's how Bass Pro like the Tracker boats and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's really kind of amazing they could be made for that. When you look at the price of like the rest of the market out there. We were over in Illinois and a guy had a $36,000 side by side. I mean, it was nice.
I spent less on cars.
But that I just bought a car for about that. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's nuts, man. So it's nuts, man.
That should be your catchphrase.
Hey, it's nuts, man.
I don't know why you all of a sudden had a speech impediment, but that's cool. Also.
That was an accent.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right, Terry.
I'm from the land of brain problems.
Any parting shots for our audience? Those still grinding?
We're getting in the latter part of the season here, obviously. So, a lot of 5-year-olds look like 4-year-olds. A lot of 4-year-olds look like 3-year-olds. So they may be a little older than what you think when you're looking at them. And it's with the weather that's coming, we've got some cool temps coming. It's a lot about the food, food to bed, and they're not bedding very far off of that food. So you might keep that in mind. Watch your downwind side. If you're walking into a food source, kind of keep that in mind where your wind direction's going if you're planning on hunting there. And just everybody be safe. If they're still in a tree stand, why make sure that harness is on. Make sure you got your lanyard, your lanyard off and all that good stuff. We don't want to see or hear of anybody falling.
Yep. 100%.
All right. Well, Timmy, good
Unless
luck.
they're falling in love.
Oh. All right. That should be enough for today.
Please stop.
Okay. Until next time.
Bye.
Peace out.
Take land management to the next level with DeerCast's exclusive virtual rain gauges. Pinpoint accuracy and historical data, all powered by industry-leading ag weather services. DeerCast has the tools to keep you ahead of your game.
We're adding new videos every week, so make sure to click that subscribe button and check out all of our amazing content. This episode of DoD TV is brought to you by DeerCast Maps, waypoints, weather, virtual rain gauges, and more. Every tool you need to get ahead of your game.